Hello everyone, FredRex2007 here. Welcome back to the Godzilla Millennium Review Series. So today is the next review, so if you guys haven't seen my last review, Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, check out my channel, go onto my channel and check it out. So if you don't feel like watching it, just watch this and just don't give a crap. It's all up to you. So today's Godzilla review video for today is actually appeared to be the third installment throughout the Millennium series, and it's just another reboot, but it's actually a sequel to the original Godzilla 1954. And that is Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack. For a title that long, that means it must have been good. Okay. The movie was released since December of 2001 by Toho in Japan once again. So yeah, 2001. So that's pretty cool, right? So, anyways, the movie begins with the military talking about the original Godzilla destroyed Tokyo 50 years ago. So yeah, this movie is kind of a canon to the original Godzilla, which is pretty neat. And the other thing is, when they're talking about Godzilla, the original Godzilla, how long they've been around Tokyo throughout the years, and still talking about the origins, like the history of Godzilla back in 1954, when he destroyed Japan. He was just a giant force of nature. So they killed him off a long time ago. And pretty much when people send him a message that tells them that there's a missing submarine underwater, so they have to go and check it out with rescue subs. And pretty much they found the submarine, like damaged, torn to pieces, and there's a big breeze coming near them when they're underwater. And they noticed some glowing blue spines behind the rocks in the ocean. And they can't believe what they're seeing. That means Godzilla must have been returning. So when the spines are glowing and the guy is being surprised as what he's seeing, like Godzilla's coming back for more revenge on his death. It starts with a title card and an awesome soundtrack. I'm telling you, like, this movie has awesome soundtracks, one of the best soundtracks in any Godzilla movie. It just makes it so awesome to make. So yeah, the movie just begins after the credits. Like, it shows our main human character is actually a female. Her name is Yuri. And she's pretty much a reporter, and she wants to grow her career to become a TV news reporter, to work in a company called Digital Q. And pretty much her and her friends are pretty much making made-up stories that are just never coming true. So pretty much they just make up true stories and trying to grow their career. And pretty much they're on the island where the original Godzilla attacked there. And pretty much telling the people so the people at Japan can check out their village, because Godzilla was originally there for the first time. And when that happened, she noticed an old man staring at her until he just disappears. Until in the afternoon, there was a couple of bike gangers pranking around in the roads until they wrecked down a stone. And pretty much that awakens a kaiju out of hibernation in the mountains, and pretty much it's something like mysterious, you know? And pretty much it kills the biker gang into the tunnels, and it scares the guy in the truck. And pretty much, like explaining, like, later on in the movie, Yuri was just getting laid and getting drunk with her friends, and even though, like, one of her friends gave her a book called The Guardian Monsters, and pretty much when she opened the book, it's pretty much about these three guardian monsters that are guardians and protecting their territory if it's ever being threatened. And that means their territory is Japan, and there are three guardian monsters, which is, I'll explain to you later on. So later in the movie, there's teenagers going about to drown a dog in the lake, and pretty much they knocked over another stone, and pretty much like there's been another guardian monster awaken into the lake, and pretty much that's another one. And that's two down, like two guardian monsters are being awoken. And later on in the movie, like, a guy that was about to commit suicide in the forest, and pretty much he falls down underground, and he notices a monster is hibernating is sleeping in the ice. So pretty much the movie explains that the guardian monsters their souls are dead. Like, pretty much their spirits are hibernating around Japan throughout a long time ago, like thousands of years, and they're going to be waiting to be awoken if Japan is being threatened by something dangerous. So later on in the movie, Godzilla shows up, and he is so terrifying. Like, he's never been threatening. Like, they gave him those white eyes to make him look like a ghost. Like, pretty much the movie does explain that the original Godzilla is back, but he came back as a ghost, which is pretty interesting in my opinion. He's pretty much like a resurged version of the original Godzilla. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I do give some shots there. A few credits. So until Godzilla just wanders off around the town, and pretty much like people are just like panicking. And pretty much like when Godzilla's walking through Japan, he's pretty much like the only things about Godzilla, this Godzilla here, he's a bit chubby. Like pretty much Japan doesn't mind their Godzilla being fat sometimes, but when our legendary American Godzilla gets fat, they really all have to complain. Which, it's fine, I get, it's okay. I pretty much, like, later on in the movie, the first Kaiju, the first Guardian monster shows up on screen, which is actually appeared to be Baragon. So yeah, Baragon is in the movie, and pretty much an insulting thing for him that his name is not being on the title. It would have been that easy, like Godzilla, Baragon, Mothra, King Ghidorah, giant monsters all attack. Like, it isn't that hard to do, right? So yeah, Baragon is in this movie, and those big eyes they gave him look like a puppy. He looks really adorable, but like he's pretty much a giant kaiju that's being so cute and destructive and deadly. So pretty much Baragon is pretty much going right towards Godzilla. And Yuri actually is noticing that, and pretty much they have to follow Godzilla to see where they're going, and Godzilla is heading straight to Baragon, near to the mountains. And pretty much like the people are evacuating all over the countrysides, and pretty much like the people at the mountains aren't even evacuated yet. They're still there. And it gets to the first fight that Godzilla and Baragon fights, and the people gets in the way with this fight. Like they get squished and they get hurt and they get killed when the monsters are fighting. Like when they get in the way with these fights, and it's really, really cool. So yeah, Godzilla and Baragon, they fight each other until Godzilla destroys Baragon with his atomic breath, which is really cool. So that means 1 down, 2 to go. And pretty much like Yuri and her friend are filming it, and pretty much they got hurt, but they're okay. And pretty much they're in the hospital, and they're talking about they have to continue following the Guardian monsters and see if they're going to try to stop Godzilla. So if they're ever going to do that. So later on in the movie, it shows that the second monster is in the cocoon, which means it's Mothra. Mothra is in this movie, which means she's the second Guardian monster in this movie. Since Mothra awakened, like she came out of the cocoon, and pretty much she's awakened. And pretty much to think, it's really strange that the fairies are not in this movie. Like, it's really strange because this movie focuses on spirits and guardians. Like, the fairies would have fit right into this movie pretty well. But anyways, like since Mothra is now awakened, King Ghidorah is awakened too. So the only thing that's complainable, like this, the old man told Yuri that the 1,000-year-old dragon, what she's talking about, like he says the 1,000-year-old dragon must awake before it's too late, before Godzilla destroys everything around Japan. So that's King Ghidorah. So King Ghidorah is a good guy in this movie. That's the only things that's the only flaws I have in this movie. Like, King Ghidorah is being a good guy in this film. I'm okay with it. Not too much. Like, pretty much, yeah, King Ghidorah is a good guy. So, and pretty much, later on in the movie, the military tries to take down Godzilla, but it didn't go so well, because Godzilla always takes him down. And Godzilla went straight to Tokyo, and Mothra and King Ghidorah appeared into that scene and starts fighting Godzilla, and they did a bit better than Baragon. So anyways, like Godzilla is like taking down King Ghidorah and Mothra really quickly until the military is getting a shot of killing Godzilla. They shooting him with drill missiles right at him. And pretty much when they got on him, they were going to drill right inside of him, but it didn't work. They exploded on him, and that really it just made him mad even more. So Godzilla just blast them away, like blast the military away out of sight, like everywhere. Like, you're gonna make him mad. And the other thing is, the director in this movie is actually a pacifist in this movie, and that's what a pacifist really is in the movie. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, anyways, later, Godzilla's about to head on sea until Mothra tries to stop him, until Godzilla takes her down with his atomic breath, exploding her. Which means 2 down, 1 to go. That means Mothra's souls went inside of King Ghidorah and charged him up and grow his wings and flies up to the air and stop Godzilla. So King Ghidorah is probably actually doing his best to try to stop Godzilla and everything else, and all that stuff, you know. So yeah, when King Ghidorah tries to stop Godzilla underwater, it's pretty much useless for him being underwater. So yeah, it's actually like the wings are just useless to be underwater. Like that's no good. Until Yuri's father and until the others gets into the water into the rescue subs with the last of the drill missiles and try to shoot it onto Godzilla's wound. And the movie explains that Godzilla is actually wounded from getting hit by King Ghidorah. So they gotta try to get hit. They're gonna try to hit Godzilla into the wound with the drill missile, and they try shooting him, but King Ghidorah gets into the way. So that's not good because King Ghidorah got knocked out, and Yuri dropped the stone that the old guy gave her, and pretty much just lands on King Ghidorah, and King Ghidorah ends up saving Yuri and her friend. So King Ghidorah made it out of there, and even Godzilla got out of the water too. And so King Ghidorah used up all of his energy onto Godzilla until Godzilla blasts King Ghidorah away. So all the Guardian monsters are pretty much destroyed until their souls came up together for the last attack, and they went inside of Godzilla and they sink him to the water to trap him there or something. Until Yuri's father went inside Godzilla and shoots the drill missile inside of him, right through into the wound. So that's the plan he's trying to do, shoot the drill missile from the inside of him. So when that happened, Godzilla exploded underwater. So yeah, Godzilla is now dead. He exploded himself with the atomic breath with the wound hole on his neck that the drill missile went through right at him. So yeah, Yuri and the other people around Japan are now safe. Godzilla is now dead, and now Yuri and they have nothing to do but to celebrate. And now Yuri and her father are still looting the Guardian monsters and everybody else around Japan, and now they are safe from Godzilla forever. Or are they? So that was Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All-Out Attack. The very first Godzilla movie I've ever seen. Like, the movie that introduced me into the series. And everything about in this movie is just amazing. Like, it makes a really good canon to the original Godzilla movie. And the characters are great, the story is great, like, the backstory is everything in this movie is great. Even the humans, I do care about the humans in this movie. Like, they are just so interesting. They've been written to be real people. And that is a great thing about in this movie. So yeah, GMK is pretty much like arguably to be one of the best in the whole franchise itself. So this movie is just so great. I definitely recommend you all watch it just to see how great a Godzilla movie can be. So I give Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Attack, well GMK, a solid 9 out of 10. This movie is great. Highly recommend you watching this movie if you still can. So yeah, you guys should see this movie and see what you think. So yeah, this movie is just incredible. So yeah, with GMK out of the way, next time we're going to be checking out Godzilla X Mechagodzilla. So stay tuned for that review, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So take care, have a good one, and bye-bye.